Hey, silent warrior. Yes, you. The one who puts on a brave face during the day, but fights invisible battles. Late at night, the one who has been wrestling with demons nobody else can see. You have stayed strong for way too long, and now your own mind feels like the enemy. There are two kinds of fights in life. One with the outside world and one inside your own head. And the truth is, the war inside your head is far more dangerous. Because, while outside events can cause pain, your thoughts are what keep that pain alive. You could be sitting in a quiet room with no enemies and no danger and still feel fear. Regret, anger, and shame. Why? Because the real battlefield is right between your ears. You have probably had days where everything looks fine on the outside. But your mind keeps attacking you, non-stop. One small negative thought starts spreading like poison. I am not good enough. I always mess up. Nobody actually likes me. These thoughts begin small. But if you do not take control, they spiral and slowly take over who you think you are. That is where Stoicism becomes your weapon. Ancient Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca lived through brutal times, war, slavery, exile, betrayal. But they discovered something most people today never realize. You cannot control the world around you, but you can always control how you respond to it. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, you have power over your own mind, not over outside events. Understand this and you will find real strength. Let that sink in. You do not need to be rich. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to control every situation. You just need to learn how to respond instead of react. You are not your negative thoughts. You are the one watching them. And if you are the watcher, that means you can decide how long they stay. This video is not for someone who wants to feel good for 5 minutes. This is for the fighter who is ready to stop living under the weight of their own mind. This is for the person who is tired of that inner voice saying, "You are not enough." In the next 7 parts, we will break down the most brutal mental traps that fuel your negative thinking, and show you exactly how Stoic philosophy gives you the tools to destroy them. So do not just watch this video, study it. If you want peace, clarity, and inner strength, do not skip any section. Each part builds on the last. Before we begin, drop this affirmation in the comments. I am stronger than my negative thoughts. Hit the like button. Share this with someone you care about. Subscribe if you are serious about inner growth. And now let's kill negative thoughts, one Stoic truth at a time. Number 1, you are not your thoughts. Let's start with the most important truth. You are not your thoughts. This might sound strange at first because we have been raised to believe that every thought we have is somehow us. But pause for a moment and think about how many random, scary, weird, or painful thoughts pass through your mind in a single day. If all of those were you, you would be changing identities every minute. Stoicism teaches a simple but deep idea. Your mind has 2 parts. What happens, and how you choose to respond to it. Negative thoughts will come. That is normal. What matters is what you do with them, Epictetus once said. It is not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. This means even if a painful thought enters your mind like I failed, I am ugly, they left me, that thought only becomes suffering if you believe it. Otherwise, it is just noise. Imagine you see a dark cloud in the sky. You do not start screaming just because it might rain. You look at it, prepare if needed, and move on. That is exactly how you must treat your negative thoughts. Knowledge, detach, let go. The problem is, most people let one thought become their identity. I had an anxious thought, so I must be an anxious person. I had a negative thought about my relationship, so it must be over. No. Thoughts are not facts. They are suggestions, not commands. Think of your mind like a radio station. Just because a song plays does not mean you have to dance to it. Learn to change the station. A great exercise from the Stoics is to write down your disturbing thought on paper and question it like a judge. Ask yourself, is this 100% true? What is the real evidence? What would Marcus Aurelius say about this? Will this matter 5 years from now? By the end, you will often realize your thought had no real weight. It just felt heavy. Another tool. Label your thoughts instead of owning them. Do not say, I am a failure. Say, I am having a thought that I failed. That creates space. And in that space, you find power. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the sky. Thoughts are just clouds passing through. Number 2. Stop arguing with reality. One of the deepest roots of negative thinking is resisting what already is. You do not suffer just because something bad happened. You suffer because your mind keeps saying this should not have happened. A breakup, a betrayal, a lost opportunity. We tell ourselves it was not supposed to go like this. And that resistance becomes mental torture. But the Stoics taught something powerful. Pain is guaranteed, but suffering is optional. And suffering begins the moment you start arguing with reality. Epictetus put it perfectly. Do not seek to have events happen as you want them to. Instead, want them to happen as they do happen, and your life will go well. Now, this does not mean you should celebrate pain or pretend everything is fine. What it means is stop wasting energy trying to undo the past or rewrite what is already real. If it happened, it happened. Accept it. Then decide what to do next. Think about this. A person standing in the rain can scream, cry, and curse the sky. Or they can accept that they are wet, grab a coat, and keep moving. Which one do you want to be? Most negative thoughts come from wishing the past was different. Why did they leave me? Why did I say that? If only I had taken that chance. But none of those thoughts change the event. They just keep the pain alive. The Stoics called this practice amor fati, the love of fate. It means loving what is, even when it hurts. Why? Because the event itself is not in your control. But your response is, let's take an example. Say you failed an exam, or your business idea crashed. A negative mind will say, I am worthless. I never succeed. A Stoic mind will say, this is one moment, not a life sentence. What can I learn from it? Do not fight the moment. Use it. Here is a tool. Every time your mind starts saying this should not have happened, catch it. Say out loud, but it did. So now what? That one line flips your power back on, because you stop being a victim and start being the author again. And here is the truth you need to remember. Peace does not come from having a perfect life. Peace comes from accepting what is and still choosing to move forward. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I accept reality and I grow from it. Number 3. Do not trust the first emotion. Most people make a deadly mistake. They treat their first emotion like the truth. But Stoicism teaches you this critical skill. The first feeling is not final wisdom. Anger, fear, jealousy, sadness. These are reactions. And reactions are usually loud, messy, and irrational. If you always obey your first emotion, your life becomes a roller coaster. Think of emotions like waves. The first one crashes hard, but it always passes. If you can wait, reflect, and observe instead of acting, you win. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor under constant pressure, wrote this: keep an untroubled spirit. Look things in the face and know them for what they are. Imagine that. The ruler of the world, reminding himself to stay calm and look deeper. A. Say your friend ignores your message. Best thought might be, they do not care about me. But if you wait an hour, maybe you find out they were busy or sick or just forgot. If you acted on the first emotion, you might have ruined a good friendship. Here is the practice. When a negative emotion hits, pause, name it, delay the reaction. Say, I am feeling anger, but that does not mean I am right. I am feeling fear, but that does not mean I am in danger. I am feeling jealous, but that does not mean I am less. Your emotions are signals, not orders. Another Stoic technique is the view from above. Mentally zoom out. Instead of seeing the problem up close, imagine yourself from far away. Imagine looking at your life from space. Suddenly, that embarrassing moment or angry argument seems small. It gives you perspective, and perspective kills unnecessary pain. Also practice this line. Let me wait before I react. That small sentence has saved careers, marriages, friendships, and most importantly, your peace. And remember, you are not weak for feeling emotions. You are wise when you do not let them control you. Drop this affirmation. I pause. I choose. I do not react blindly. Number 4. The stories you tell yourself are creating your pain. Most of the time, it is not the situation that breaks you. It is the story you tell yourself about it. You get rejected, and your mind says, they never liked me. I will always be alone. You make a mistake at work, and your mind says you are a failure. You are not capable. This is the trap. You confuse facts with interpretations. The Stoics understood this deeply. That is why Marcus Aurelius wrote, if you are pained by any external thing, it is not the thing itself that disturbs you, but your judgment of it. And you have the power to change that judgment at any moment. Let's pause and unpack that. It is not the rejection, the silence, the failure, or the delay that hurts most. It is the meaning you add to it. And most of those meanings are false stories built from fear, insecurity, or past trauma. Your boss gives you a short reply. You assume they hate you. A friend does not invite you. You assume you are not valued. You did not get the result you wanted. You assume you will never succeed. But what if none of that is true? One of the most powerful tools to kill negative thinking is to separate the event from the story. Here is how. 1. Write down what happened, just the raw fact. My message was not replied to for 2 days. 2. Write down the story your mind is telling. They do not care about me. They are avoiding me. 3. Challenge that story. Do I know this is true? Is there another possible reason? Have I ever delayed messages for reasons that had nothing to do with the person? Often just doing this exercise helps you realize your thoughts are not reality. Here is the Stoic mindset. Bad things happen, but they do not define you. You define the meaning of what happens. And in that power, you shape your emotional world. Use your mind to heal, not hurt. Your brain is a storyteller, but you are the editor. And a wise editor does not let false stories go to print. So the next time your thoughts spiral, pause, investigate, and rewrite. Because you are not the pain. You are the author, rewriting the page. Drop this affirmation. I control the story. I choose peace over panic. Number 5. Your environment feeds your inner dialogue. Let's be brutally honest. Your surroundings affect your thinking. And most negative minds are not born. They are built by toxic environments. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, the habits you repeat. All of these are feeding your inner voice. And if you are surrounded by noise, drama, chaos, and pessimism, your mind will reflect that chaos. Seneca, one of the wisest Stoics, warned, "Spend time with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those you can improve." This was not just about friends. It was about mental hygiene. If your mind is like a garden, who are you letting plant seeds in it? Let's break it down. Negative people. If you are constantly around people who complain, gossip, or belittle others, you start picking up their mindset. Your brain mimics what it hears most. Toxic social media. If you scroll through content that triggers insecurity, anger, or shame, your mind becomes addicted to low-vibration thoughts. Chaotic spaces. A messy room, cluttered desk, or loud home can amplify stress and kill clarity. The Stoics lived with simplicity and order, because they knew chaos outside leads to chaos inside. Here is a truth that hurts. You cannot kill negative thoughts while feeding them every day. So start an environment detox. Ask yourself, who makes me feel drained versus who makes me feel calm? What content am I watching? Does it inspire me or make me feel worse? Is my space helping me think clearly or adding to my stress? The Stoics were not just focused on philosophy. They were focused on structure. Simple routines, clean surroundings, meaningful conversations. They knew that external discipline created internal stillness. Try this challenge. Spend 7 days without gossip, drama, or negative scrolling. Clean your room. Unfollow accounts that fuel comparison. Spend time with people who actually want to grow. You will be shocked how much quieter your mind becomes. Not because the thoughts magically disappear, but because you have stopped feeding the storm. Number 6. You are tired, not broken. Sometimes your negative thinking does not mean something is wrong with you. It just means you are tired. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. And when you are tired, everything feels worse than it actually is. You misread texts. You overthink decisions. You assume people are against you. Your mind becomes a storm, not because you are weak, but because you are drained. The Stoics understood this deeply. They did not just talk about mindset. They talked about preserving your energy. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your judgment of it. And you have the power to change that judgment at any moment. But how do you change that judgment if you have not slept, have not rested, have not taken time to be still? Too many people try to think their way out of a storm. But what they need is recovery, not more thoughts. Negative thinking gets louder when you are sleep deprived, have not eaten well, have not exercised in days, are overexposed to noise and social media and pressure, and have not taken time alone. You do not need to fix your mind every time. Sometimes you just need to give your nervous system a break. Stoicism is not about being a robot. It is about being rational and responsible with your energy. Even Epictetus, who taught strict discipline, reminded students that a person cannot learn what they think they already know. If your mind is full, tired, and overwhelmed, you will not learn, grow, or think clearly. So give yourself this gift. Sleep early tonight. Take a 20-minute walk outside without your phone. Say no to one thing that drains you. Write down your worries and then step away from them. You are not broken. You are just overrun. Stop treating exhaustion like weakness. Treat it like a signal. It is time to rest. It is time to refill. Negative thoughts often vanish not because you beat them, but because you stopped running on empty. Drop this affirmation. I am not broken. I am just resting. Number 7. Gratitude kills negativity. This one might surprise you. Gratitude is not just positive thinking. It is a weapon, a powerful one that destroys the roots of negative thought. Why? Because gratitude forces you to see what is real, not just what is missing. When your mind is stuck in negativity, it creates tunnel vision. Nothing is working out. Everyone is better than me. Life is unfair. But the moment you name what is going right, that tunnel starts to crack open. Seneca wrote, "It is not the person who has too little, but the person who craves more, who is truly poor." Most negative thinking is rooted in lack, a feeling that you are missing something. But gratitude reminds you that you already have so much. And this is not about ignoring problems. It is about balancing your perspective. In your lowest moments, ask yourself, what am I taking for granted right now? What do I have today that I once wished for? Who do I still have around me? Write it down. One line is all it takes to start shifting. Let's say you feel lost in your career. That is real. But maybe you are also healthy, safe, fed, and learning. Your relationship is struggling. But maybe you have discovered your own strength, boundaries, and self-worth. Gratitude is not a fake smile. It is not pretending everything is okay. It is looking life in the face and saying, "Yes, this hurts, but I still choose to see what is here." Here is the deeper truth. Negative thinking grows in the soil of forgetfulness. When you forget your blessings, your wins, your survival stories, you fall into the lie that life is all pain. So remind yourself. Make it a ritual. Every morning or night, write down 3 small things you are grateful for. A breath, a meal, a memory, a person, a small win. You will start to notice something. That ache in your chest will loosen. That fog in your head will clear. Because gratitude gives you anchors. And anchors keep you from drowning in the storm. If you have made it this far, understand this. You have already started killing negative thinking, because awareness is the first cut. And awareness is exactly what Stoicism gives you. This is not about never having a negative thought again. That is not realistic. The Stoics never aimed for perfection. They aimed for practice. You have learned that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer. You do not have to argue with reality. You can accept and grow. Your first emotion is not always your truth. Pause. Reflect. Choose. The stories in your head are just that. Stories. Rewrite them. Your environment matters. Clean it up to clean your mind. Tired does not mean broken. Sometimes rest is the medicine. And above all, gratitude is your armor against darkness. In it, Marcus Aurelius faced loss, betrayal, and stress that few of us could imagine. And still, he wrote every day to train his mind toward peace. So train yours daily, silently, strongly. You do not have to be loud. You do not need everyone to understand. Just keep showing up for your mind, and your life will begin to transform. And if no one told you today, you are doing better than you think. Not because things are perfect, but because you are aware. And from awareness, everything can change. This is how you kill negative thinking. Not with force, but with daily clarity, inner silence, and stoic power. If this video helped you, hit like to help more people see it. Comment your favorite point or quote. Share this with someone who needs peace. And subscribe, because we are building a stoic mind together. Final affirmation for the comments. My mind is my strongest weapon.